my mind. Things paranormal talks in the dark. Secrets buried leave a burning mark. We interview the dead, we debate the unknown. Chasing shadows where the seeds are sown. Fingers tapping on a Ouija board. Broken silence like a shattered chord. Eerie hums in the dead of night.
It's working.
Oh my God.
Yay.
That's new.
We can do it. It's probably going to boost over again. And it's going to be like,
Yeah.
not again.
Well, I have to apologize first. Everyone needs to join us on our YouTube because Restream and Facebook are in a dispute, I think, because you can't stream on Facebook at this point. But everyone, welcome to Things Paranormal Talks.
Yes.
First episode of season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we decided to do episodes of about 6 months, and in between we change a lot, and yeah, make
Yes,
a
we
lot
do.
of noise, and
Yeah.
so we have our first guest of the
Yes.
season.
We have.
Yeah.
Who is he at?
Let me say, I was absolutely flabbergasted that he agreed to come on because, as you know, I try to get in everyone, and some don't even answer.
Mm-hmm.
And this one agreed directly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It is. And I wasn't ghosted. And I'm not calling out his name. But let's bring him in. Tony Ferguson.
There we go.
How you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, we're doing good.
It worked.
How are you?
Yeah, all good. It works. I was going to say, in backstage, we were like, is it going to work? It worked. So that's all good.
It worked. Thank
Yeah.
God for Mary. She had the same button and it did do what it's supposed to do.
Maybe that's an upgrade as well. That the one who is creating the stream can only go live. But let's see. Shall we show the comments? Because I saw about 30 people were planning to join in. So let's hope they are joining in. Let's start by Tony, introduce yourself to our listeners on Spotify.
Yeah. So basically, I'm a personal trainer by trade. I got into the paranormal for having experience as a kid, and as I got older, I just wanted to sort of document to see if I can prove or disprove my experiences, whether it's my child imagination. And the more I've got into it, the more I've realised there's something in it that I can't explain. And it's just led me to document more and more and more, and go deeper down the rabbit hole and find out what these things are, whether it's the afterlife, different dimensions, or just things that we can't explain. So yeah, that's really it. Really, it was never really to do with anything like a death or anything like that. There's no grievance there. It's more like trying to sort of question what I experienced as a kid.
Cool.
Yeah, really cool. Where did you earn your nickname, the Ghost Whisperer? I was curious about it.
It was. Yeah, so for me, basically, when I started doing this, I picked up quite a lot of disembodied voices, and I used to call a lot of it out on when I was either with public or with people in general. And we test experiments. I always make sure that everyone's in one area, etc., in a small group, so that we know that everyone's there. And obviously, 9 times out of 10, if I call out a disembodied voice in a room, it's going to come out on the camera. Now, the ghost whisperer side of things, someone said to me, "Well, ghost, it's like." Most of the time they come in as static, disembodied. It don't come out loud like we're talking now. They're either like whispers in the camera or far a distance. And I've just got more than most because I like to sit in the quiet, in the dark, with no equipment, and yeah, make sure that everyone's in shot, so I know that anyone's not moving, whispering, even down to like just even the smallest of things that you can try and sort of debunk and say, well, it could have been that. And yeah, that's where it's come from other people saying that you're always capturing disembodied voices, and that's where the ghost whisperer side of it come from, because to listen on the camera, they don't sound like us. They sound like very far away, as in like a whispering voice. It's not being caught on EVPs. It's being caught on cameras, etc. So it's in real time. So these voices that we're capturing, and I've noticed that I've been working with a lot of people now that have done this approach where they've ditched the gadgets and just basically we're sat in the dark, asking questions that are relevant to the building, how they died, and being a bit more sort of respectful in the sense that asking questions that might get a reaction rather than the old let's move, can you move this, touch that, the circus act. And yeah, and it's this is what many people have had these experiences with, even down to we did Walkie Hole Caves in the UK. We were locked in with a parapsychologist, and it was 4 of us in total. And I said to him, is there any way possible in these caves could we hear anything above? He said no. And we caught voices down there with him, and and the camera doesn't lie. So it's stuff like that that I've tried different experiments doing this. I mean, I started out like most people trying the gadgets, and I do think people need to do, because a paranormal investigator, you've got to investigate both sides of things, whether it's ITC or and see what works for you. But for me, it's just cameras, locked off cameras, sat in the dark. It's quite boring most of the time, a bit like fishing, but patience is the key, and
Mm-hmm.
just basically see what you get. If you get nothing, it is what it is.
Yeah. Agreed.
True.
Agreed. And I like the approach because there's no interference for you because you don't have to pay attention to anything except for your ears and ask the right questions to get the answers. And like you said, if nothing happens, nothing happens. It is what it
No.
is. It's the same with fishing. You have to be patient, and sometimes you have days that nothing's going to happen.
No, I think with the content creation side of things, this is where I've let go of it all. To be fair, there's almost like a pressure for content. You've got to put something out there. Whereas I've ditched so many videos, unless I like the location, I think, do you know what, I just want to show it because this place is beautiful. I've got rid of so many videos because it's like there's nothing to see. You're just sat in the dark, not much is happening.
Hmm.
And obviously, doing this since 2017, documenting stuff. I've been doing it a lot longer, but it was basically personal journey. And yeah, I've ditched so many videos, and now that as I've got older, etc., I've realised, you know what, don't ditch the videos, keep them, because these places you may not get to go again, and with the cost rising for these locations now, I don't think I want to, if I'm being honest, because in the UK, they're charging a stupid amount of money for, in my opinion, for just for the
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
think they turned it into uh, a commercial thing. People want to investigate, so I want to make a lot of money out of it.
Yeah.
And if you look at the States, I heard amounts $1,200 for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Not many people can afford it.
No.
I can't.
No, me neither.
No, not even with a GoFundMe.
No, because I have no support if it comes to GoFundMe. Because other people, my friends, don't have money either, so they will not support me in it. So
Yeah,
no, it's getting ridiculous. Those prices are getting ridiculous.
yeah, and
I've
it's
been I've
over.
been quite lucky, really, to be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've been quite lucky overall because we worked alongside an events team for many years, so I got to go and go to the location and go on my own for a bit, and then work with the public. But what was even more amazing about it is that we've changed, because they wanted to change their approach as well and get rid of the gadgets on these events, and we were showing people a different way of investigating and just saying, look, listen out, we're all together. We made sure it wasn't massive groups, because you got too many, it's impossible, because you just don't know, but it's enough so that people can actually see what everyone's doing. And yeah, it was amazing, because so many people that do go on events, they just see the devices, they don't, they're not really using their senses. And And after the amount of people that we've caught and documented, and even said, "Wow, what was that?" And it's stuff like that. You can't, it's almost showing people a different way, the old way I call it. The old way of investigating before the devices came in. It's just a case of a camera and a man with a cam. That's what I call it.
Yeah. So you don't use gadgets right now, but you did experiment with them, I suppose.
Yeah, in 2017 when I started, I used them for a good couple of years. I gave them a go. There was a few interesting things, um, but I saw so many flaws in them, and that was the problem with it. It was a case of I was like questioning with a RIM pod. Like 1 minute it would go off, and next thing it's like, and it's like, well, that's constant now. And I'm like, is it the battery? Is it faulty? And same with the cat balls, and then suddenly it's go off continually, and it just made me think, well, if it might have gone off at one point when I asked the question, but if it's going off continuously, is there a fault in the cat ball and stuff? And apps, I gave them a couple go, etc., and I just thought, nah, it's just noise. Could never get
Yeah.
on with the spirit box, just because I just I love working in quietness. I call it a meditation state when I investigate. When I work with people, I've got a set way of doing it, and it's literally you tune out and you tune into the building, and that's just the way I work. I've been like for at least 4 or 5 years. I've got friends that use devices. I say to them, bring if you want, but I do question a lot of things. It's like, well, I make sure that they move things and go, well, could it be this? And because my skeptic brain comes in that I'm not skeptical about the paranormal. I'm more skeptical about devices because I just see so many flaws in a lot of them, and I think that's the right way to be. To be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a good point. How about EMF meters? What do you think about those? Like
Well,
K2?
again, we had one group a couple of months back where we went to, and people started feeling funny down in the basement, and I could hear this vibration sound, and no one else could hear it. This is where the sense of hearing comes into it. They're like, can no one else hear that? It's like, and people started going weird down there, and they were putting it down to the paranormal. So it was an events team that went to, and I said, right, have you got a K2 meter? They're like, yep. I said, where are you feeling funny? And they were sat by this little box, went straight to the box, read. I said, that's why you're feeling funny, is because there's a high EMF meter there. It's affecting your brain. It's obviously too much for your brain. You're sensitive. And that's why all three of you that are sat there are feeling that. That's not paranormal. So I use it as more of the
Yeah.
base than I would do anything else. Because again, it might go off sometimes, but with the way that we're living now in the world, with the electrics and everything around, and even down with the 5G towers, there's so much electricity flowing around this whole this whole world in the UK. With all the towers we've got here, you can never really say if it is paranormal. Whereas a disembodied voice, or something that's more concrete, that's been caught on camera, then yeah, you can then say, well, hang on, that's interesting. So that again, with the K2, it's more just a case of you can still use it as a tool, but maybe use it to try and sort of like say, well, that's why you're feeling funny. The EMF around is quite high. Could that be affecting you?
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because I'm a back to basic kind of girl, and Shane back to basics also, and I see people using the SLS, and I'm rolling my eyes.
Oh.
It is-
That was an Xbox thing, wasn't
yeah,
it? That was like they used to use that on Xbox.
yeah,
I thought that was like a kid's toy. I didn't even know they were still. Well, there you go. I mean, to be fair, like there was an SLS thing someone showed me before, and on an investigation. So I showed them straight away. I said, "Do that again and go back." And I said, "All it's mapping is that there." And then they were like, "Oh," because they were actually like full believer that the SLS was capturing
Yeah.
ghosts. They're everywhere. I was like, "No." I said, keep going back. Go back. Now go to that side. I'll show you. That's going to be a ghost there." They were like, I said, it's just scanning. It's scanning something there that's basically, and they were like, oh, and it's a bit like an Xbox, it's scanning either movement or something there that could look like an object.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never really used that, to be fair. Only on the Xbox, and that was for a game. So, not a paranormal investigation.
no, a dance game.
Definitely not.
But we can dance in the paranormal.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
We'll make a stick figure show.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, in some of the movements that I've seen on certain things. Well, yeah, it's not really. Yeah, it's a bit weird. But again, everyone's entitled to their belief. I can't. I'm not here to. I'm not one of those that go, this is right, this is wrong. I just do what works for me, and that's it.
Exactly.
And I think that's how you got to be, because again, everyone's got their own way.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Now,
why we ask what's your way. You can tell everything. It's no problem.
yeah, it's about you and your beliefs and how you approach the paranormal. So, if you don't believe in those stuff, perfect fine by us. But we support it. We
Hmm.
support it. I go back to a few years ago. I've seen a small clip on the TV, Paranormal Caught on Camera. I'm
Yeah,
hooked because I try to debunk every clip I see. That's why I watch
yeah,
all the paranormal shows. Um, I've seen a clip where you were investigating a school and the door was opening and closing and you were explaining everything. Do you remember the school?
yeah. Well, the
Yeah,
door slammed. Yeah, very, very much. I mean, that was quite an interesting clip for me, because when we were in there, etc., it was actually the
yeah,
daytime, and there was actually a weight of probably about 5 kg holding the door. And this is one of the things the show missed out, which again, it's probably the most important, valuable point of it. A 5 kg holder and the door, and you see, and it moves across the floor with force. So I went back with another team a couple of years later, and I showed them. I'm like, whoa, and the same thing was there, and I was trying to recreate it, and I said, even if I got that, the thing would just fall over, but this thing was dragged. It was like, and at the end of it, um, and yeah, at the end of it, I mean, I laughed because it was like, I thought it was funny, because at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, that's going to be explained, and then I realised there was a weight there, because I walked into the room trying to recreate, like I said to you before, recreate being a teacher. I mean, asking questions, and I didn't expect that, and I didn't, and my reaction was like, what the hell kind of thing, because we were only in there for about 25 minutes in total, and nothing really happened other than that. But then I found out after that some of the reports spoke to the lady there, and she had poltergeist activity, doors moving. But I never asked questions before. I always ask questions, and I think that's very important, because again, if anything can match up to these locations, then that's interesting. Whereas if you go in there already, you're looking for something, so straight away
yeah,
your mind's like, right, they said this and that. Oh, look, it just did that. So for me, the history is not really important. I think it's more important not to know anything and walk out
Yeah.
and say, well, we did experience this. Does that match up to what you guys have had? And that's how I work. And unfortunately, some people say it's wrong. You should learn. Depends on what you're going in there for. I'm going to, in my opinion, to try and disprove and see if anything matches up. And if anything does, then all in good. If it doesn't, then yeah, I didn't really experience anything that night.
No, exactly. But yeah, if it doesn't add up, I think you will try to look further to see if there's something that will add up in the end. Not that you go crazy about it, because if it doesn't add up, it doesn't add up. But there's also, if the history doesn't add up, maybe there's something else that happened there that wasn't that important to know that. Or is there something you do as well, or is it just
But
like it didn't happen?
for me, I like to keep going back. I think it's important. I mean, I don't think I've been to one location yet where I haven't gone back again and again and again to try, because you've got to build a story. That's what my opinion. You don't just go there once and go, it's not haunted, or it is. If
Yeah.
you're a keen investigator, you keep going back. And even if something doesn't happen the first time, it just, to me, it's like a case of, you can't really say, oh, it's not haunted because I've been there once. It may not have been active that night, or you may have missed something. You may not have been recording in the right room. This is why when I do investigations, I have locked off cameras, and I'm analysing several, different sort of cameras sometimes, and it's depending on how big the location is and stuff. So people miss stuff, and sometimes it's with the right people, the right energy. If you've got the right people with you, I've noticed that with certain people I work with, it just works, it clicks. and you can, you have to have that connection. I've got ADHD. I'm high energized, so I think people that work with me said that when they work with me, because my energy is so high, the building's high, and I think that's so important that you've got to have the right people around you. So there's me factors to it. I think, it's like I said, I've been back to certain places 3 or 4 times, and I'm still going back to them now. And building a case story to it and seeing, even down to capturing disembodied voice, hearing the same people. So I'm thinking, well, there's someone obviously there that's there all the time, and it's stuff like that. So I think it's a passion. I've been lucky enough to go into military bases in the UK and work on cases where I've been going back like sometimes two or three times a week, and keep recording, going back. That's the ADHD in me. Once I go into that zone, I'm in it. And I think that's a good trait, but it can also be kind of a bad one, because this is why I will say with the paranormal, you need to have a bit of a happy medium. Because a couple of years ago, I was terrible before lockdown. I was out investigating 2 or 3 times a week easily, and I could have done more, because I was almost like getting things and thinking, right, I need to go back, and that's how my mind works. But everyone's different, For me, I need to find out what happened that night and where did that come from. So yeah, I guess again it's down to the individual, but that's just how my mind works. But luckily, as I've got older, I've learned to sort of slow down and just say, do you know what, it is what it is. I still can't explain it, but I'll keep going back and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have heard about that. I have the same thing. I don't have ADHD, but if I have a location that's very interesting to me and something happened and I can't find out what it was, I will return until I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really, if you have an experience somewhere, but it will never happen again, and that's the weird thing about it. There might be things that might happen different, have the same experience again, and then that's what I've learned
Nope.
as well doing this. I've had so many different experiences with so many different people that everything's different, and I think that's probably a good thing, because if it was the same thing all the time, it'd probably be boring. It's like, well, it happened again. Is
Yeah.
that it? So it kind of keeps you in that interest, I guess.
True. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I am an addict. As soon as I capture anything in a location or something is showing me things in my mind's eye, I want to go back next day,
Yeah,
3, 4, 5 times a week. And you forget you have a proper life. You have your
that's it. Yeah.
job, you have your house, you have your partner. And yeah, it's a dangerous field for people with ADHD and who are hooked very easily.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely.
Yeah, 2017, to just before the pandemic, I was literally like a beam. I was literally just bzzz, like, because obviously my brain just couldn't function, and I was on one. That's probably why my social media took off quite well then, because the pandemic slowed me down, because obviously we had the lockdowns and stuff. It's probably a good thing for me, because I probably would still be the same now. But it made me realise that I was overdoing it sometimes, and just don't regret it, because I've been to some great places, met some great people, and had some fantastic experiences. And I've been lucky enough to do it at quite a young age, because I know a lot of people, they get to a certain, mostly because they lost loved ones and stuff, and they get into it for that reason. I got it into my 30s and stuff, and so yeah, I've managed to sort of have quite a few experiences, at quite a young age. So I'm grateful for that, at least.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you still sharing out clips like you did?
Yeah,
I think in the Fright Club, I seen a small clip of you as well with Jack Osborne.
yeah. Yeah, I've
And
done a few with Jack Osborne. He was with the Ghost Brothers. They were sharing out some captures and stuff. We've done a couple of interviews and stuff, and yeah, just basically there was one where I caught in a graveyard, where this mist came out of nowhere.
yeah,
This graveyard was literally in the middle of nowhere. It couldn't have been car lights. I tried to rule out. I've been back with people, and yeah, it just came out and came at me. I felt something brush past me at the time. didn't see anything. Look back on the camera, and yeah, and you just see this mist coming straight out of nowhere towards me, and it was one of the reports. And I don't really do graveyards, to be fair. It was one because it's not actually in a graveyard number. It's actually in the Doomsday Book. It's one of the oldest graveyards in Southampton. I think it's nearly 500 years old. And yeah, it's just basically a lot of people walk through the beach, Gertie Beach, and they felt very uncomfortable. So they asked me to go and check it out. I did. I left a couple of locked off cameras myself, and that's what we call it. Didn't feel nice there. So I did get that vibe that whatever was there was territorial. And people have seen stuff there, but I didn't see anything on the night. But obviously, my night vision cameras picked up on something that was coming towards me that I felt at that particular time. So it was interesting. Was it a ghost? I don't know. I went towards me.
Absolutely.
That's weird.
Yeah, and interesting.
Oh yeah.
I remember also, I think it was a shadow figure of a monk somewhere.
Yeah, I've caught I've caught two or three apparitions. One was at Bodmin Jail, and this one was caught with a locked off camera down the basement. Now, this is quite an interesting story. There seems to be a thing with me and going into haunted prisons. When I went to Bodmin Jail, it was my second time visit, etc. The lights went off in the basement, and we went up to speak to the manager and said that the lights went off. She said that's impossible because it would come off the second and third floor. All circuits belong to one. So we went down to go and to try and sort of debunk it and say, well, you know, could there be a switch somewhere, or did someone turn it off? You know, and there was nothing there. So we've gone back to review the footage that night, and just we saw the lights go off because we're going to send the footage to the paranormal manager and to the Bodmin Jail to show them that the lights went off because they said it was impossible. So it weren't until 5 o'clock in the morning I got back up again. I don't know what made me do. I just woke up and I thought we're going to go to Bodmin Jail and show the footage. I rewatched it again, and I said to my missus, "Have a look at this in the basement," and she was like, "What the hell?" And you can see this like it looks like a priest with a grey face, and it's very clear in old clothing, and it walks past the corridor like that, looks that way, and walks off. And I see at the time, and we showed the paranormal manager and also Bodmin Jail to go and check their CCTV. They could confirm there was no living person down there with us at that time. Now, it was interesting because that was the last day of Willie Hampton's death at that particular time, and he would have been gone there for his hanging in the gallows on that particular area, and it was that was his anniversary day because it was one of the things. Well, no, we didn't know that until Kirsten, the manager, told us, and which is why Mark, who was actually another paranormal manager, he's very skeptical about people's captures. They used to get a lot of people capturing orbs and this and that, and he poo-pooed it, and he said that I can't explain that. That's weird. And he said it doesn't even look human because it's got a grey face and it's very old clothing. Whether it's a priest, whether it's a monk, whether it's the prisoner, I don't know. But again, it's one of those. And then on to the second story, Shetton Mallet Prison. We went there a couple of years ago, and we were filming the public. They were doing a seance in this chapel area, and I left the cameras, like I always do, locked off. Me and Bev were sat on top of the balcony because I don't take part in any seances and stuff like that because I try and keep my energy distant from other people because, again, it can affect people without realising it if they're in a bad place. So we sat up there while they're all doing like a ritual, not a ritual, but like a seance, calling out in a circle. Now, I said it's the calm before the storm. Something don't feel right because the room felt very heavy. Now, you had 3 skeptics in there in this group, and they said something don't feel right in the bottom. And then as that happened, Adam collapsed to the ground, the guy who was doing the seance, and he was in agony. Now, we didn't realise at the time, but just before this happened, an apparition appears out of nowhere, and it looked people have got their own opinions of what it looks like. Some say it looks like a grey alien, some say it looks like a child, but what you can see is like this form with legs, big eyes, and just off like that. It doesn't look like any of the people in them, as in like human form, walks off, and then that's it, gone. And that was just before Adam collapsed to the ground. And again, everyone was in shot in the circle, as we always make sure. And Adam just literally dropped to the ground in agony before that happened, and we had to carry him out to the point where he couldn't breathe.
Whoa.
So it's stuff like that left me thinking, well, that was weird because I said it's the calm before the storm. Something's going to happen. 2 minutes later, all that happened. And what we always do on with our cameras as well is we always leave times so you can see it in real time because it's important. Because I think if not, you're going to get a lot of people doing CGI. But this was a paranormal event, and what was even more interesting, we didn't never met these people before. It's a paranormal event we turned up to, and it was the wrong event. And they luckily let us come on it because we were meant to be there the following week for the overnight stay at Shepton. But Adam kindly said that you can come and join us, and he gave me a big hug after and said, "Mate, you were meant to be here tonight."
Yeah.
It was like, and it was stuff like that I think is interesting. It's why I say about the experiences stuff with other people, and it really does make it more sort of like interesting because again, things don't just appear out of nowhere and walk off, and it's not one of those captures where you can go, well, yeah, look, actually, you can see it. It just appears, someone teleports there, and then walks off, and yeah, interesting. And another funny thing is I didn't even spot that one either because I was analysing it. I was trying to get the footage to Adam and see what happened to him. It was one of my viewers say, "Do you realise you've caught an apparition?" I'm like, "No." And again, this is where my ADHD brain kicks. I don't focus on the fact with Adam to show him to say, "Look, mate, this is what happened to you, mate." Because he wanted to see what happened. I put that out there, and yeah, it was one of the viewers came back and said, "You've caught something literally just walking off, and it doesn't even look human." So yeah, it's stuff like that. It's amazing, and what it is, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you ever see anything physical wrong with his body?
What with Adam?
Yeah, like marks or something.
It was weird when he got out. I mean, I've never seen any, and I must admit, I've done a lot of investigation of people, and you do get some people that react and get very sensitive. But he was shaking, he's sweating. He said he felt like his whole body was electrocuted. And I did say I don't think what's in here likes what you're doing because they were doing a ritual in a chapel, and I didn't feel comfortable with it. I said that whatever's here doesn't like it, and that's why I say it's the calm before a storm. The room feels really heavy, and then Bev shout out to him, and then it doesn't feel nice down here at all. And me watching it from up there, I could feel the energy from there to there, and I'm glad I wasn't in that circle because I'm quite sensitive to stuff like that, and obviously I must have been because I'm on top of the balcony looking down with my locked off cameras, and I'm feeling it from there. But yeah, it was madness, absolute madness. And again, wrong event. I've never met these people before, and there was must have been eight people in total in that circle that had an experience they'll never forget.
Yeah,
never. Well, I've never forgot it, so I'm sure they won't.
I'm sure they won't do that again.
No,
that's a one-time deal. Never doing that again.
Yeah. No, that's the thing with the paranormal. It's like you say. I mean, I know certain people can get affected very easily and stuff, but with the Adam situation and feeling the room, I just thought, no, there's, that's why when I was watching back the footage, there was a lot more happening around. Then this is why I will say it's so important with the cameras because there might be things you're missing from one angle to the other where you might capture something. So that's why my devices nowadays is just literally just as many locked off cameras if I can. And if I'm working with other people, they've got their cameras, so I don't put too many around because otherwise you just get glare. So, but when I'm working on my own, particularly, I've got 3 or 4 cameras sometimes in different angles, just sort of like covering a lot because, just interesting to see what you capture in around you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
Remind me, I need more cameras.
Well, yeah, that is it. That is, in my opinion, now. I mean, people, about devices. What's the best device to get? I'm like, that's all I ever say to them. Just get as many cameras as you can. Start with one and build it up, and that's all you need. And just use your personality, and that should be enough.
Yeah,
it's confidence, really, isn't it? You think you're talking to yourself, but sometimes you're not. And I think it's a confidence thing with a lot of people. They feel stupid asking questions to nothing. But when you get confident and you start believing in yourself and thinking, well, I believe there could be something here, and if you feel it, then you'll be surprised. It's like anything in life. If you put a bit of confidence in yourself, then things will happen.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Now all people need to do is listen to the advice.
Well, yeah. I mean, luckily, I've worked with a lot of people now, and there's been a lot of people that have changed their approach, or they use a bit of both. I think there's no harm in that. Go half and
Exactly.
half.
Well, I know I would listen to that advice. So
Yeah.
Mm. And and they're capturing stuff. I mean, I got urban explorer friends, and they always say to me, "Don't watch my videos because you scare the shit out of me." Because where I'm so good at analysing now, I'm like, "Do you realise you just caught a disembodied voice there telling you to get out?" They were like, "But we're on our own," and I've sent it back to them and said, "Look there." They're like, "No way!" And even down to our paranormal teams and friends that I've got, I do quite a lot of analysing for them, and I point out on their lives, "You caught this." I send them the shots and go. They're like, "We didn't hear that in real time." So I do quite a lot of analysing behind the scenes, just to sort of
Yeah.
pinpoint and show people, even when they're listening back to, because I've done it. I've missed 2 apparitions in my bloody from doing this over the years, and I didn't know they were there. People pointed out to me.
Yeah.
So I've kind of gone more analysing now. I'm really more deeper into it, spend more time on it, because I thought, well, I'm missing stuff here, and how much stuff have I missed just because I'm rushing to get the video out because I was a content creator, but now I'm not a creator. I'm just a leisure investigator that just goes, how you guys are going to see it raw. I'm going to highlight the captures, and yeah, and that's half the key to, I think, with a lot of paranormal people. There's too much pressure, and once you let go of that pressure, things just become more natural, and yeah, you just relax, and
yeah,
there's nothing to prove, and I don't think there is anyway, only to yourself. That's something else that when I first started, I want to prove to the world that the paranormal is real.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
no,
Just
exactly.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. And
Yeah. And convincing people the paranormal is real. There are still people who send you pictures of orbs with circles around it and claiming it's their deceased grandpa. Okay, perfect. I don't waste my time on doing that. The last time I did, I need to share out again. There was someone who shared a clip with me, and all orbs. I said to him, I don't want to bully or being disrespectful, but I think those are insect and moist and dust. No, they're the ghost of the insects. Well, that's it for me. So that's when I stopped sharing and advising and showing others what the paranormal is about. And we enjoy
yeah,
our own investigations and having fun and making fun. And if you're having fun, also EVPs are captured as well.
Yep.
I think 9 times out of 10, that is what a paranormal investigation is about. It's very rare you get the apparitions or the things moving. I mean, it's more disembodied voices most
It
of the
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
time. And even with the orb side of things, means when I'm hands up, when I first saw orbs as a kid, when I first started out, we've all got to start somewhere and learn, what is, what isn't. And, I used to think, well, that's weird. But then I looked on my night vision camera and thought, well, there's bloody loads of them. Bloody, it's like, but you get to know that as an investigator after a while. And I think that's like I say, a lot of people, they got to start somewhere. And the same with the devices. If you don't, you're not going to take someone else's face value. Give it a go. If it don't work, then don't let it try. Same with the, I mean, I bought some investigations to the eye. I've seen a few things there, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, that was weird. And there's been 3 or 4 of us seeing it, but whether again the camera doesn't pick up on that, so it's like, well, there you go. So it's one of those things that I think the orbs thing is more because obviously the dust, obviously you got more dust on insects, and the night vision infrared's going to pick up on a lot more things. So people are going to go, that's is there something there, and probably looking for something and nothing. But then that does come down to basically like anyone. I think we got to start somewhere and realize, hang on, yeah, that's too many. A bit like the cat water tube, it's going off constantly and for no reason. Then there's got to be a fault, And it's the same with the RIM pod. So you got to question everything.
Yeah. True.
Absolutely.
Very true. So, if I understand correctly, you don't have a team. You just go with the teams, with other teams or events.
I've got um I've got basically friends that we go out with now. Nowadays, it's more relaxed. We meet up. I've got Exploring the Afterlife, lovely team. Ghost the Ghost, lovely team. Adam and Sue, who we go out quite often with. Adam was the one that had the experience at Shepton Mallet, and I've sort of like tried to help him since then. And yeah, and he's become an amazing investigator since then, because I think that took a lot out of him. So I sort of took him under my wing, and now he's like, yeah, just completely switched his devices still. He always has done. He comes with like old. He's more into, again, because he's hearing stuff now, and he's calling it out, and it's coming out on camera, which is what happens with a lot of people I work with now, like whether it's the public and whatever. They start getting more confident and stuff. Another thing I didn't notice as well is that we did an event a couple of times with a couple of autistic children and ADHD people there, and I was amazed. Probably some of the best investigators I worked with, because they were so in tune, and they were calling stuff out, but because where they weren't afraid to say it, how they felt, they were capturing stuff and it was coming out on camera like I do, and they were calling it out, and they were like, "I just heard a voice there." I was like, "Yep," and and it was amazing to see, and and where they were so brave enough to do it and not worry about what other people say. And yeah, it was amazing, and I just like their approach. They were literally in the zone, as you should be. And yeah, and crazy as it seems, that some of the best investigators I've worked with were autistic or ADHD.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I my opinion about autistic or ADHD people is they are fine tuned in one particular way, and I don't know how that works specifically, but I just notice it because my kids, for instance, I know kids are open nonetheless, but they both have
Yeah,
ADHD, and
yeah.
they hear everything, so it's sharp all the time. Ears are sharp all the time. So as soon as they hear something, I believe them immediately. And I,
You should start recording that. This is why I was saying to
oh
leave
yeah,
recorders on, because again, if they ever
I can
when
record
it's
a
when they
lot of things here in my house. I just don't feel like doing it anymore because I have so many recorded here. I was like,
fair enough.
I,
At least you
oh
got the
yeah,
proof
yeah,
to back it up.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
that's what you
definitely,
want.
definitely. I have a
Yeah.
lot of autistic friends, and they hear more than I do, which is good. So I know where to pinpoint somewhere when they heard something. I was like, oh, something has to be on that recorder or on that camera or whatever, so I can find it. So that works. But yeah,
It's
they are fine tuned.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something I wanted to do before lockdown. I actually did a video just before the thing happened, and yeah, I was saying on my YouTube video that I want to get a team together with like ADHD autistic people, and just literally locked off cameras, see what happens. But it happened naturally. Just after, it literally, we met this team called Ghost to Ghost, and they had a bunch of people there that were friends, and they had a lot of autistic people there with them and stuff. And I thought, yeah, perfect, and let's do it. Let's
Mhm.
investigate. They didn't really do many investigations, but I just loved their approach. It was just not, it was natural, and that's what I love about it. There was nothing false about it. It was like they were generally interested. Questions were like, authentic. They generally cared about
Yeah,
what was there, and yeah, and I love stuff like that. Again, it's testing experiments that, a bit like I did with the parapsychologist at Wookie Hole Caves. It's things like that. We went one time with a historian there, locked in there, and next time we went back with a parapsychologist, and both times, and even with the public, the first time, caught stuff there with the public. So it's 3 occasions, and yeah, three things there that different experiences, but a lot that we can't explain because it's underground.
yeah,
So yeah, it's stuff like that that's just amazes me. But again, some people don't experience nothing. It's one of those. Is I don't experience nothing on a lot of investigations, but it doesn't mean to say I can say it's not haunted.
yeah,
Just what body wasn't acted that night.
exactly. Yeah, I had an experience with. I've been to England a couple of years ago without Mary. I've been with Mary as well, but I was supposed to do a paranormal investigator with another team from England, and he was like, "Yeah, well, we'll go to a haunted bus museum." I was like, "Okay, fine, give it fine with me. I like it." He said, "Yeah, it's always active, and there was almost nothing there. Almost nothing happened, and he was apologizing. I was
Yeah,
like, "Well,
you get that.
that's the risk we take. One day it's haunted and it's active, and the other day is like,
That's why I'm like,
no,
shh, don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
no,
I don't want to be let down because if you're like, because like, well, what did I do wrong tonight then? So if you don't know, then it's better not to know sometimes. So
yeah,
that's my approach.
yeah."
Um,
But it didn't bother me because I don't expect anything. So if nothing happened, I won't be disappointed because that's my expectation,
no,
anyways.
Yeah.
definitely not.
So, but he was very disappointed in the ghosts. And I was like, "Yeah, well, it happens, dude. It's no problem. Better luck next time."
Yeah, but this is the thing we were talking about earlier on about the
Oh
cost of
yeah,
these places. Like, you know, so I've probably caught some. I wouldn't say better because I've caught different stuff in each different locations, but I've had just as good experiences going into abandoned places than I have going paying out bloody 500 to
yeah.
£1,000 for a location. You know, it's and that's one of the things that, like I said, where I've over the years. You know, when I first started out, they were reasonable priced, and yeah, I could say, do you know what, it's worth the money. But now it's just like you say, it's got more commercialized, and I've lost that interest in a lot of places now. I'm thinking, you know, and I'd rather go for the places that I feel that are charging and doing good for the paranormal, because there's a lot of teams that are doing it. They're putting money towards charity, or they're putting some good back in, and I think that's important
Hmm.
because there's not enough of it.
No,
And yeah, so that's why I'm going to more support and, you know, try and sort of see what we capture and document. And yeah, that's me going forward really. And the ones that are charging stupid money, hopefully, if enough people don't bother going there, they're going to have to drop their prices, aren't they? Because it's like anything, you don't shop somewhere, then yeah, they're obviously charging you too much money.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hope to see the same thing you do because if it goes to money, they won't see it.
I want an apparition for £1,000. Sorry, but I do. You know, for that sort of money, it's like you know, you want, you know, literally the being. I want something to move and being caught on
Yep.
Yeah.
camera. I don't want to go in there going, oh, I caught a voice saying get out. Oh, great, yeah, you know, I could get that for free. Yeah, so no,
Exactly.
not at all.
Yeah, for £1,000, I want to get Shane jump scared and rushing out of the building.
Well,
Yeah.
even that, yeah, jump scare, just something to bloody look back and go, do you know what? I remember that. Not well, my bank balance remembers this though. It's like, yeah, I got paid £1,000, nothing happened.
Yeah,
So it's like. And they're
exactly.
overdone as well. Just be fair, a lot of these locations, especially in the UK, they're being literally investigated every night. And I think that's another problem. I do believe that sometimes you can burn the energy
Yeah.
out of the building to the point where nothing's going to happen. And whereas when I go to fresh buildings, I notice with military bases, you know, when I was probably in the first investigator to go in a lot of these places that I've been to because I was allowed to, and wow, you know, talk about bloody, you know, you've walked into a room, yeah, and when I go to some of these places that I pay for, it's hard work. It's like you say, it's the fishing thing. It's like you're there for 8 to 10 hours, and then you're going to get probably a 20-minute, 30-minute video of just a bit of weird things that happening. Maybe nothing. Maybe just a bit of us saying there was a bang there, but could it be the building? And just stuff like that. So I think you need to definitely when it comes to finances, because I've spent so much money doing this, and yeah, I don't regret it. I'm glad I've been to these places, but I'm certainly not going to be paying any more than I need to nowadays when it comes to it.
No, I understand.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like you said, if you have to pay for just a voice and it's a lot of money, and that same voice is going to be heard in an abandoned building where you can go in for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think it's just a case sometimes with the abandoned side of things. This is where I always say it's different because it's the unknown. You don't know if there's a person there,
No.
so straight away you high. And this is what I always say when I've worked with people that I work with the years. When you go into a building, you're in there. That's it. You're in. You get settled. You get set up, but you automatically your adrenaline's high, so you're heightened sensing straight away, and you're thinking, right, is there a crazy person here? You don't know, so you go and check the building out and stuff, and then when you
Yep.
start hearing things, you think, is that a person? But then you go there, there's no one there. So I think you're constantly on the high there. So I believe energy is so important. So straight away, you're literally like boom, you're buzzing, because it's like, and that's how my mind works anyway. And the people I work with, and I think that does heighten things.
Yeah.
It gives that video a bit more, and even down to your experience, a bit more of like a remembrance. Whereas you walk into a building, you set up your cameras, you call out, and you just hope to see what you get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Go on.
we don't have buildings where we can pay to go in. There's one, but it's very expensive. So I was like, nah. It's
None
um,
at all.
it, it's an abandoned ruin. It doesn't even have a roof, and they ask
Oh god,
€600 for 3 hours. I was like,
that's ridiculous.
you go put that €600 very dark away because I ain't coming. Goodbye.
Thing is, if it rains, then straight away you're contaminated.
Exactly.
It's like you're investigating. It's like going to a ruins with a castle with no roof. It's like you've got to pick a nice day with no wind, and no,
Nope.
that's not good.
Nope.
That's not good at all. Oh no.
No, I'll buy
Is
ticket
there many
price.
abandoned buildings where you guys are? Oh
Yeah,
really?
I'll buy ticket. That's
Is
the only
it,
thing I'll do. I'll buy ticket price, but I will never do the $600. No, no.
yeah, no, I totally get that. Like I say, I'm with you on all that sort of stuff because there's so many places now charging
Yeah.
stupid money, and I won't do it out of principle, because again, if there's any investigation I think I'm paying for and it's like there's contamination, then to me it's
Yeah,
a waste of time. It's
it
going to be
is.
a waste of time because straight away you're going to be like, got that problem, that problem, that problem. Whereas where you're not paying for it, it's urban, you take it at your own risk, and it's just travel, wasn't it really? And yeah, you do it at your
Sure.
own risk. Is there many abandoned places where you guys are,
No,
or
usually when it starts to be abandoned, they will tear it down and make houses of it. So,
Yes.
oh man,
yeah.
that's a shame. I mean, over the country in the UK, we've got a fair bit, but you've got to travel to a lot of it. Mainly care homes, unfortunately, because since what happened in 2020, a lot of them shut down. So, so yeah, but then they're interesting places. I used to work in a care home as a kid at 14, helping out, doing the washing up, doing odd jobs, and I had a few experiences there growing up. And since going back as an adult, investigating a few that have closed down, it's amazing some of the things that you pick up there and stuff. And yeah, and even down to asylums, we've done asylums and we've caught children's voices. One of them was in the middle of nowhere, and you're capturing children's voices saying hello, and it's like, where's that
Yes.
coming from? Why is there even underground bunkers where there's been reported? I didn't know after, but there's an underground bunker in the middle of nowhere, and this guy literally rents it out to paranormal teams, and we've caught children's voices down there, and it's like, well, there's no way possible. It literally is in the middle of nowhere, and you're hearing children's voices, and there's stuff like that. I think, well, but then it can't be explained because there's no one around. There's definitely no children of like 5 or 6 years old going hello around, So where's that coming from? So that makes things more interesting, but also weird because I don't like hearing children in a lot of places. I think makes you think what's happened, or it's bit sinister to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are hard ones.
Was there any location where you had a negative experience?
Personally, myself, no, because I've always been quite good with energy. I always say I refer to things as people. So if you know someone in the streets bad, I pick up on that instantly. If I don't like someone's energy, I use the same principle on investigations because a bit like the Adam situation when he collapsed. Before the storm, and then suddenly, boom, he collapsed. I felt the energy in that room. So if I feel something bad, I tend to point it out, and then 9 times out of 10, something gets caught on camera, disembodied voice or whatever, and responds or saying get out or whatever. We've had many of them. Again, it's a human trait. You go into someone's house or building, what are they going to say to you? Get out. So I find that quite interesting. But I've never really had a negative experience where, like Adam had. I've had experienceable, but nothing to the point where I felt like I'm, to the point, like some people do. I've seen some people's stories. I thought, bloody hell, you must have had a bad experience there. And I've only seen that one with Adam in the whole time I've done this. Other than that, I've I had a few people that say that they've gone in a trance and stuff like that, but it's not really proof because they didn't really capture anything on camera. Whereas Adam did. Adam Collette walks off. That to me is experience a bit more validation. Whereas we just collapsed.
Yeah.
Could it just been you, mate? Could you have just felt weird at that time? So yeah, it's stuff like that, but no, nothing major.
Mm.
How about you guys?
Oh, I've had my experiences. I don't know. It wasn't really negative, but it felt weird.
Yeah,
I wasn't even starting my investigation yet with my team. I was setting up cameras, using or starting up the EVP recorders, everything. And I was still busy. I was standing with my back against the pond, and all of a sudden, there was pretty high grass, tall grass, and I heard running towards me, like children's running. That
Yeah.
height was ass/lower back height. And I jumped up, I turned around, and in the middle of my jump, I turned around, landed on my suitcase, which hurt like hell. But there was nobody there.
yeah,
And I heard it running off, and then it was bloop in the pond. So we ran up to the pond, and with the flashlight, we were looking at it. There was nothing there. The water wasn't even moving.
that's interesting. I mean, we've caught stuff in a tunnel where you can hear clearly footsteps walking towards us. I would turn around, and look down there. There's no one there, but it's weird because the tunnel was dry, but it sounded like someone walking in water, like but there's no water down there. So it's like, and you think, well, how that's impossible because we showed the tunnel being dry, but it literally, and as we turned around, it stopped. And then it's stuff like that. You think, wow, that's interesting because we know there's no water. And it was a summer in the UK,
Yep.
which doesn't mean nothing really because in the summer you get rain. But as we talked about before, but it was dry, and that's the thing. The tunnel was dry, and then after looking back, it reported that was one of the things in the tunnels. So people say to me, how is it possible for once they leave their physical body to have a voice because they lose their vocals? But how is it possible for them to have footsteps? They lose their legs. How is it possible for things to be moved? They've got no physical form. But this is where telekinesis and things like that, and probably things that we don't understand. Again, I can't say whether it is the afterlife. All I can say is there are things that happen that are weird that we can't explain.
Yeah.
And I think the camera is a good way of source of like documenting it. And unfortunately, it's not going to prove to everyone. It's not. But what it is going to prove to is the people around you that are having the experience.
Yeah, and yourself.
Yeah,
because that's the only way.
That's what matters. Because a lot of people go crazy. We've done a fair few investigations where we've gone to people's homes, not documented online because I don't think that's fair. It's not about attention. It's about doing it and solving the problem. And one person actually went and with an app and showed this lady. She was in her 70s and scared the crap out of her because it said demon. This app was coming out of that. They got in touch with us and said, can you come and check this lady out? We did 2 investigations there and literally just cameras. I got her to ask a few questions and I didn't ask her. I said, don't tell me nothing until after. We'll document it. We'll come back and see what we capture. We replayed the actual stuff to her. She said, that's my husband's voice. Now, I said, don't tell me nothing beforehand. He passed away a couple of years ago. And the reason she was worried because she kept on getting touched on the back in bed. Literally, it's happening quite often. And we caught his voice a couple of times. And the reason that he was doing that is because she told us after is that she's going to hospital for an operation next week and she's worried. It's comfort. So we caught his voice a couple of times on camera and she actually goes, that's my husband's voice. And she was shocked. And I said, it's not nothing negative here. I can assure you because whatever's here is responding to you and it knows you. So we played the captures like I do online, etc. and said, look, do you recognize that voice? And straight away she goes, that's my husband's voice. And when she was asking questions about, is there anyone I know? There was a voice going, yes. Now I was the only male on there and I was sat next to her and you can clearly hear it's literally by the doorway. And it's like, she's like, where did that come from? I said, do you know who that is? I said, and she's like, that's my husband's voice. And after, she was amazed. She was literally, it's like, she goes, oh, I think he might be here because of my operation, because obviously I said operation. She goes, she goes, no, I didn't tell you, because she said, don't tell me nothing. But next week, I'm going in for a life operation where I may not be here. And she goes, I was worried because where I was getting touched on the back, I felt uncomfortable because it never happened before. She goes, but do you think he could have been here recently because of the operation? I said before, perhaps he's letting you know it's okay if you're worried. I said it certainly ain't a demon or what that lady came in and said for the app, or scratches or whatever, or going to hurt you. So it's amazing how you can change and transform something, and her outlook was so different. But it was an experience that, for her, beforehand, she's thinking she's got some negative thing in her house, which is the last thing you want when you're going for an operation, whether it's one you may not make out of. So
Yeah.
it's stuff like that that I do behind the scenes. Not often, but
yeah, those are the hard cases and the most grateful,
Yeah.
because they're so
Exactly.
grateful when you've been there and finally cleared the air and everything. And I hate people going in there with apps with those things always call demon.
This is the thing with apps. They're literally in. This is why it's a bank of words. Unfortunately, a lot of it's negative.
Yeah.
I've left it running before, and for just for a test. I thought, well, do you work for like the media or something? Because every word in there is literally just toxic, and like, you get a few words in there, and it's like rest of it demon, dead, death.
Yeah.
It's stuff that could scare the crap out of certain people, especially those that are getting into it. And again, unfortunately, the television programs promote this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the main problems when people watch mainstream TV. They believe, so when they go on these events, that's when it's not. It's probably far from the truth.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I always say you can try those things, but don't take it too serious. Especially don't use them on residential investigations, because people are already scared. As soon as that thing starts spitting demon, people are going to get on the roof.
Well, you can imagine if someone takes an SLS camera into someone's home, they're going to be like, bloody hell, my house is playing with ghosts. Because everything they're going to be like, look, there's a stick man there. Because of course there's going to be. But for someone that's literally don't believe in this, they're going to be like, oh my God. So, it's going to scare the crap out of them and think, like, I need an exorcist in this house because they're everywhere. So I get it. I do get it. I totally get why you have to, this is even TV programs in the UK. I don't watch them, but I've been sent screenshots of certain, and they're like, "What's your thoughts?" I'm like, "Why with a TV program?"
Yeah.
It's like, why is that even being shown on TV?
Yeah, exactly.
It puzzles my mind, because it's like, and then people watch it and think, and they go and do it, and they go and download the apps and stuff, and they'll probably go around their houses thinking, bloody hell, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's madness. It's madness. It is, but well, we live in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I absolutely think as soon as you investigate at people's houses, you have a responsibility. You don't want to have them a nervous breakdown after you've been there, and going in with an SLS camera and people thinking it's infested with ghosts and using an app and shouting out demon. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They have to be permitted in an asylum because they are going completely nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a number one rule. When people contact me, if I always say, I'm happy to come and investigate and check out for you, but if they start mentioning about, oh, can you put it online and stuff, I'm like, nope,
no,
not at all. If you're genuinely concerned, why do you want it online? Because that to me is attention seeking. So you don't have a paranormal problem. You just want to. You've seen other YouTubers do it and think, right, I want to prove my house is haunted. And again, sometimes it can become a money spin where you can start renting out and stuff. I won't do it unless I think they're authentic. And again, I've had so many people contact me over the years saying, can you come and check out my property? And then they've mentioned, oh, are you going to put it on your social media? I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? I said, because I might get there and there's nothing there. And secondly, why do you want it on social media? So it rings alarm bells to my ears. It's like, well, if you're genuine and you're genuinely having an experience there, then social media will be the last thing on your mind. It will be about the experience, finding out what's going on. And because sometimes with these things, you might have to go back 4 or 5 times, even more times than that. Depending on how bad the experience is. For luckily, this lady was easy because it was an app. Go in there and say that's a load of poo. Like let's get to the point of it. And luckily we got straight to the point of it. But some other people you go to, it could be a case of going back 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that where, again, it's morals. And I won't put it online because again, it's people's personal life.
It is,
and if they want their personal life on there, they're not going to get that from my end. There's plenty of other people that go and do that for views and stuff, but I'm not interested in that.
No, exactly.
Yeah, again, difference going to abandoned buildings and places that are clever when it comes to people's, because again, in mental health, and there's a lot of things to it that people might be experiencing that might not even be paranormal, and they might not want to hear it. It could be, like I said, with the EMF stuff, the house, their houses could be high in EMF and stuff. So yeah, I tend to sort of just do that stuff if I do, which ain't that often, to be fair. But yeah, when I do, it's got to be all for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, same with us.
Yeah.
Same goes with us. Definitely. I'm out of questions. I don't know if you still have questions.
What are your plans for 2026?
With the way the world's going, yeah, I'm just gonna. Every year I make plans and they always go differently. And I think I just go with the flow now. It's like I'm gonna be going out no matter what, and just seeing where it takes me. Like I said, I've got no stress with what I'm doing now. I'm not putting content out every week and stuff. I'm not doing the live streams and stuff anymore. I'm just literally just going out, putting stuff out there. So again, with the paranormal, I can't say what's going to happen, but what I can say is I'm going to be out there doing my stuff, but enjoying it and going out with good people that I know, friends and stuff, and and documenting stuff. But where who knows? I've been sometimes like last year, not your last year, the year before that, the Sun Uni, a media outlet and stuff, and that just happened suddenly, and things like this do, even down with like paranormal caught on camera, unexplained caught on camera, and things do happen like that. It's like when you least expect it. So I'm more relaxed now and say, look, let's just do what's going to happen, and and just document it. That's it, and hopefully meet some good people along the way.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Kind of the same, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes
I think
with
you have to you have to be like that. And the world we're living in at the moment, I'm pretty sure it's like it around the UK and Europe in general. I think you just got to go with the flow and because if you don't, you're going to be disappointed with making plans, because obviously, with a lot of things in the world in general, that's a different subject.
Yeah, you have to go with the flow. That's the only thing you can do.
Absolutely. I made one plan, and I will traveling probably to the UK, and I think it will be in May, if I calculated correct, and it will be Scotland or the UK itself. For the rest, I'm going on investigations with my partner in crime, and I made one goal to do this time. The first investigation, I will be wearing
a unicorn onesie.
A unicorn onesie. Just for the fun of it. Yeah.
Why not? You got to give these things a try. That you don't know until you try it.
Exactly, so just for fun.
And you might get some EVP laughters.
Yeah, probably.
I think for me, actually, as an investigator, because obviously I investigate a lot of places in the UK, and I've been to America as well. I am going to travel more into Europe because I want to see because there's been a couple of times I've caught disembodied voices speaking in Latin, and I've called out and said it's not English, and I've so it'd be interesting to go to different countries and see if I can capture people speaking in French, Dutch, and even though I'm not going to hear what they're saying, I can say there's a disembodied voice there saying, I'll probably butcher it and go, it says to come, because obviously I don't speak the language, but it'll be interesting on that experiment to see if, I can capture a disembodied voice on camera speaking in a different language to myself, and maybe even point it forward to other people and saying, look, you speak, you make out what's being said.
Yeah.
Because I was an American in the UK. I've had a few French voices caught, or with somewhat with an accent. But yeah, that would be interesting, definitely.
That'll be
Yeah.
cool. Well, if you ever come over to the Netherlands,
Well,
don't be a stranger.
it's a place that I would love to go to because I've heard good stories about it, and it's, again, it's one of those places that not far away. So yeah, again, you guys sort of picking my brain there. That is probably something I would like to go and do, just to see if I can actually like pick out voices there and call out, but even probably butcher what it's saying, but at least it's not an English voice going get out or whatever, it's saying it in Dutch, or it's stuff like that. It's just different, I suppose.
Yeah, I know here in the area it can be Polish, English as well, because we had Canadians, Americans, and the English, because I live in World War II zone, and so we capture different voices.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Have you ever caught any English voices?
yeah.
A lot.
You have.
Yes, I have.
There you go.
I was experimenting in my house, and I used a spirit box to see how it works, and
Yeah.
a Ouija board. And I put the spirit box in the middle of the Ouija board after I opened the gate, and there came an English voice, and it was an English soldier.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so he gave some info. He was shot down, and there were planes here crashed. They were shot out of the sky. So they found some medicine bottles
Yeah.
across the street, and all English and American. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, very interesting.
But again, it just shows. Yeah, it's stuff like that that is interesting. It's like obviously you guys record all this stuff as well, though. Do you document it and stuff?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's all you can do. That's it. That's what you want.
Yep.
It's good to look back on. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and we need to go back to one certain area where I heard feet rushing towards me, and I do want to have it on EVP this time, not on camera, because we didn't see anything, but we just heard it, and it might be residual, but I want to capture it.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys ever come to the UK, I will show you some good places. That's for sure. And it won't cost you anything. I've got quite a lot of military bases and places like that where we've got where not far from us and stuff. So you're always welcome our way and stuff.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's about giving people experiences, and if I can get you the places that I think can give you that experience, that I know, not I won't say every time, but there are teams out there that are skeptics, non-believers, and they've gone, what the hell, so. And it's stuff like that I love to give people experience with. So you're always welcome if you're down this way.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If we travel together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which will probably happen in the near future. So
probably this year.
Do it. Manifest it. Manifest it.
Yeah. And just one time in the unicorn onesie with some moon boots.
If you come to the UK like that, they're going to love you. The spirits in the UK, you're going to wake up the building. It's like, what the hell's going on here? so yeah, do it. Do it.
Capture
she will. Trust me, she will.
They're not literally the buildings were like, they've never seen this one before. It's like, so yeah. If you come with a different approach, they're going to love it. They're going to love it.
Reminds me, I went to a fortress, and I was wearing high heels and a short skirt, and they told me there were Frenchmen and different soldiers who died in that fortress because it was a hospital fortress.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it, but I came in my high heels, short skirt, and they captured EVPs where they were asking where I was, and I didn't believe it, but they had it because they liked the high heels. I think,
So
yeah, it was funny as hell.
I think you got a team member there, Shane, that's going to go to all lengths. So literally to try and get the paranormal activity. So that's not a bad thing because I've done
No,
some crazy things. I have.
Yeah.
We were actually
she makes me do crazy things. So
that's not a bad thing. That's a good chemistry because
it
again,
is.
if you're willing to go beyond the boundaries, because I've got the people that I work alongside, some of the things I've done, literally, Wookie Hole Caves when we had the circus act, I was doing like backflips and stuff on these crash mats and doing circus things, and I'd literally done damage to my body after when I come out of there. And it's like the things that I've done to try and stir up activity, and even them, you got again. Sometimes it just builds the energy, doesn't it? You got to have that chemistry, and yeah, you've obviously got that, so that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Once
No,
Might
I
look, a bit, might look a bit crazy on camera, but who cares? You're not there for that. You're there for the
Exactly.
paranormal.
Exactly. We have a lot of fun, and that's the main goal for us.
Yeah, I always try to have
Yeah,
fun.
too right.
And we went to a building where they kept dis- disabled children, and we didn't capture anything. And we tried to stir up. And I had some
Yeah.
candy in my bag, so I threw out some candy, and we actually got some EVP. Come, candy. So mission
Oh, there you go.
worked. And afterwards, we had to clean
Oh,
up,
yeah.
but it worked.
Calvin, all the male ghosts. Where's Mary?
Again,
Yeah,
where's that coming from?
yeah, it was horrible, Calvin. They captured my name, I think, about 30 times. And I was crashing on the floor because I was so tired. But every time they heard something and there came another voice, Mary. And I thought they were just kidding, but it was, yeah.
It's good. It's good to look back on. That's what I say. It's what it's all
It is,
about, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's sharing
absolutely.
your memories and even the journey and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's all we got at the end of the day. Unfortunately, people might question it, but at the end of the day, it's your experiences,
exactly.
and no one can take that away
yeah,
from you.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, we are at the end of our time because if we do it too long, everyone in Spotify will jump out and think, okay, see you again. And so I want to thank everyone in the chat and everyone who is watching later on. Thank you for watching. To the people on Spotify, thank you again. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us. And we will going out with some music, but not before Tony has told you where you can find him to follow him.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'm not. No, just yeah. Don't, honestly, I'm not. Yeah, just Tony Ferguson. Type that in Ghost Hunter. You'll find me, but I'm not really. Yeah, it's just sorry. It's just me in general. I'm just not one of those people. Promote channels and stuff. It's like yeah. It's been a pleasure talking to you both, though, and obviously hearing your experience as well as mine. Just thanks for giving me that voice, and like I say, it's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing our journeys and stuff, and yeah, just getting your experience out there, and
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
Exactly. Agreed. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tony. It was a pleasure to talk to you
Yeah.
and to listen to your stories.
Yeah, thanks,
And
and thanks
hopefully
everyone
we
for
see.
joining us.
Hopefully we can meet up someday
Yeah.
because that
Well,
would be great.
again, I'm I'm open door to things like that with anyone in the paranormal. The door's open. So yeah, hopefully if we can, you're more than welcome this way. And if I do come your way, I'll be in touch.
That
Definitely.
would be cool. Yeah, that would be very cool. Definitely. All right. I'm going to put in some music, and Mary has to end the live because I can
Oh.
probably not do that.
I thought you said
couldn't
Mary's
even,
for the
couldn't
dance
even start
then.
it up.
So I have to do something. So
I can
I
see if
will
it
put
works, but I don't think so.
everyone in the background and
Yes.
you can start the music.
Yes.
Shadows Dreams or skeptics grin. Ghosts of questions circle and waiting within.